Roughly 2 years ago now, I made my official YouTube debut with a video about Art Fight, an annual art gifting game that takes place throughout July. Now, right off the bat, you don't need to have seen that video to understand this one, but if you are interested in hearing about the event from the perspective of a first-time player, I would encourage you to check it out after you finish watching. So of course, this event holds a bit of weight to me as something that encouraged me to just finally put a video out into the world without overthinking too much. Basically, it's the video that got me to stop procrastinating when it came to my content. So naturally, as the next July crept closer, a sequel came into consideration. But rehashing the same points in a second video won't do anything for me. The only difference would be different attacks and slightly better visuals. That's so boring! I knew I had to start thinking outside the box for this one. How could I top it? There wasn't much I could do differently. I suppose I could make a challenge out of... oh boy. Now, this video was supposed to come out last August, a year after my debut, but a few things got in the way, namely moving, focusing on my studies, and a yucky sinus infection. But I had so much fun with it that I didn't just want to throw it away, so why not cover it now? Perfectly in time for Art Fight 2026. In 2025, I challenged myself to yet again participate in Art Fight, but with a twist. My attacks for this video would be nearly completely randomized, and I would have to follow the rules set by chance. So what are those rules? Well, I'm so glad you asked. Let's take a look. Okay, I know. This would have been a lot easier to do on a regular randomizer website instead of setting up a wheel show on my Animal Crossing island, but I just wanted to make it a little more exciting. Just let me have this one. Here we have 5 wheels, each determining a certain aspect of the art. All of the attacks will be digital art for this challenge to make it easier on myself, and I did not randomize the characters so as to prevent any potential art block from being too restrictive. Additionally, I did not randomize the character size, mostly because I forgot. This first wheel only has 2 outcomes and will be used to determine if there will be clean or messy lines. Black is for clean lines, and red is for keeping a messier, sketchier style. Our second wheel, the item wheel, will determine the background or setting of the piece. The peach, apple, and cherry are a color background, gradient, or no background at all, respectively. The orange is a pattern, and the pear is abstract. The bell is props and the leaf is scene elements, and the dreaded fish represents a full scene. The third wheel in our lineup is the life or death wheel, representing color or no color, since I was very biased towards coloring my pieces. So the purple piece represents color and the tiny yellow bit is for no color. Our fourth wheel is, again, black or red, to represent the color's finish. Clean color is a piece in which the character is colored normally, while rough color can either be messy or only given color to key parts such as hair. I assigned red to rough color and black to clean color. Finally, the numbered wheel is used for the level of shading on the piece. For a drawing with clean color, I assigned 1 and 2 to no shading, 3, 4, and 5 to some shading, and 6, 7, and 8 to full shading. However, I saw it impractical to do a fully rendered shade on a roughly colored piece, so for rough color, I assigned even numbers to no shading and odd numbers to some shading. And those are the wheels. I hope that wasn't too complicated, but don't worry about memorizing it, I have it covered. Okay, let's see what kind of drawings we're making for Art Fight. For drawing number 1, we have clean line art, props, rough color, and since the wheel landed on an even number, we will have no shading. For our second art piece, we will again have clean line art, scene elements, rough color, and the last wheel landed right between 3 and 4, but it is slightly more on 3, which is an odd number, so we will be doing some shading. For number 3, we have messy line art, an abstract background, clean color, and since the wheel landed on one of the 2 lowest numbers for clean color, we will have no shading. Oh, hi Willow! For drawing number 4, we have clean lines, no background, clean color, and since it landed on number 3, we will have some shading for clean color. Hi everyone, Editing Kit here. I am coming on to apologize as I, a humble fae, have messed up. You may have noticed that earlier, I stated that on my 4th wheel, red was assigned to rough color and black was assigned to clean color. Coincidentally, it was on my 4th spin that I made a mistake, where I spun a red and wrote it down as clean color instead. I went through the challenge carrying this mistake with me, unknowingly, and have not realized it until looking over my footage. Now, I am not going to sing about it, but I will create a very small extra drawing when we get to that part, which I hope will make up for my error. Thank you. Anyway, back to the rolls. And for our final spins, we have clean line art, a gradient background, clean color again, And because it landed on number 3 again, we will be doing some shading. Okay, I'm not doing this whole bit again, but the 5th recipient will get a little extra drawing too, don't worry. And these are the templates for what we will be drawing for Art Fight. Okay, now that the roles are done with, why don't we talk about the game a little? As mentioned in my previous video, Art Fight is an annual event that encourages artists to draw gifts for one another in exchange for points. The art exchanges are called attacks, and users are split into 2 teams to try and earn the most points together. I talked more about the rules and such in last year's video, but a few things have actually changed now. For instance, in previous years, attacking someone on your own team, aka friendly fire, only warranted 20% of the total point value, but it was increased in 2025 to 75%. Thank goodness. Also, character pages have a little button on them to attack directly from their page, so there's no need to copy and paste a lengthy character ID for single character attacks. Finally, there is a search option. You can search for users or attacks on the site now. Such a relief, I don't know how I survived without it. Another thing is that the teams were super tied for points last year. Like in 2024, Stardust was dominating the points the whole time and Seafoam didn't stand a chance against them, so I was expecting the same for Crystals, but nope. Looking back on the event a year later, the news post has long since been released, revealing that Team Crystals won 2025 by nearly 46,000 points. This sounds like a big lead, but keep in mind Crystals won with almost 104 million points, so this was actually pretty close. Everyone did such a great job last year, and scrolling through the featured art is such a treat. Highly recommend. So how about we see what I got up to? For my first role, I decided to draw Starburst, a jester character belonging to Shokomi. All of the recipients' links will be in the description, by the way, so make sure to check them all out. Starburst had a lot of ribbons, so I thought it would be cute for them to be doing some ribbon twirling, which is what I made the prop into. Also, you can see the moment where I was getting into the groove of coloring before remembering that this one was supposed to be rough color and going back to change it. For that aspect, I still wanted to incorporate all of Starburst's different colors and shades, so I opted to go for a misprinted, messier style instead. This also allowed me to test out some brushes. I used the gouache brushes on Ibis Paint for this one to achieve an almost crayon-like appearance. Would I have preferred to do clean coloring instead? Of course, but that's not in the spirit of the challenge, now is it? The goal with the rough color was to make it kind of look like the backgrounds in the Littlest Pet Shop cartoon, if anyone else remembers that. As a kid, it always kind of bugged me that they were never aligned, but now I see it as charming and kind of inspiring to have it be so perfectly imperfect. Finally, I felt like the piece was lacking something, so I added some sparkles to fit in with Starburst's general theme, and I was done. Ta-da! Here they are! For my second role, I decided to do an attack on 2 characters, actually raised Neneko and Katrina, aka Nenecat. And I don't have the footage for it. This was actually the first idea that I had for Art Fight 2025 back when I was deciding which characters to draw, so needless to say, I was super excited for this one. I love both Neneko and Cat a lot, so I wanted to have fun drawing them more. This one is also technically more of a fan art than an art gift since it's characters from a series called Prism, and I'm going to be talking about it as if you know what Prism is. All you really need to know for this is that the characters have little crystalline creatures also called prisms. I had an idea for one of those reversible images where it works right side up or upside down. Think of the Spider-Man kiss. So I started by drawing one character, then drawing the other over top before flipping the layer around to make sure they were in the same position but on opposite sides of the axes. I also scooted them around a little as I went, but I made sure to do it equally to both characters so it didn't lose the effect. I had a lot of fun with the posing for this one because I could practice a bit of character acting with how different Neneko and Cat are. I wanted Cat to be crossing her ankles very daintily and holding her prism very gently like it was a baby bird in her hands. As for Neneko, I wanted them to be a bit more relaxed and comfortable since they've had their prism for a while. Also, since they have 2 prisms, I had them rest each hand against their knees and hold the prisms separately, almost like they are symbolically unaligned. Hey everyone, Editing Kit here again. Off script this time, actually. I was looking over this footage and I realized that I forgot to even talk about the other symbolism that I put into it. Like how the hearts at the top and the bottom are Cat and Neneko's different colored prisms. Like the grayish white crystal at the top is Cat's, while the other 3 are the 3 colors of Neneko's main prism, but then I also made it look like a shattered broken heart because of the absolute doomed sense of their relationship. And then instead of a number for the card, I had it so that Neneko's side was a joker, since they are constantly joking around and they don't have a very good self-image. And then Kat's is the queen, not because she sees herself as a queen, but because that's how her family raised her, as June talked about in their Prism reboot video. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of clarify on that because I worked really hard on that symbolism and then I completely forgot to talk about it. Anyway, on to the next one. My third spin was given to a little cat named Mr. Muffin, who belongs to my best friend Faye. They are such a talented artist, and we spent the past few years watching each other grow both as people and artists during school, and I was pleased as punch when they showed me the concept for this new character. Mr. Muffin doesn't have hind legs, so he usually just chills in his wrapper blanket thing when he isn't using his little cat wheelchair. What a sweetie. For this one, I was tasked with rough lines and clean color, so I used the calligraphy pen for my sketch, cleaned it up slightly to shape it, and colored inside the lines this time. For the background, I wanted to draw a little blueberry pattern, and while it was more of a pattern than abstract, I was allowing myself to be a little lenient since they are grouped together on the site. This one was pretty simple and didn't take me long, so there's not much left to say except that I probably had the most fun with this drawing. On to the next one! For my fourth spin, I wanted to draw an attack for my friend Jade again, since she's the one who convinced me to join Art Fight in the first place. I drew her little baby bat character since I thought she was so cute. After spinning my randomizers, I wrote that it was clean lines and color with no background and minimal shading. As I mentioned earlier though, this was a little off. Honestly, the drawing would not have been very different with rough lines, but I still made sure to make it up to Jade after realizing the errors of my ways. This one was fun. I think the hardest parts were figuring out how to draw the bell from this angle and where to put my shading. I'm kind of all or nothing with my art, so whenever I'm tasked with something like minimal shading, I kind of freeze up a little. What's minimal shading? How much is too much? What's not enough? It's also subjective, it's just weird to me. Anyway, I had fun drawing Jade's little bat character. I love her big poofy hair and her even bigger glasses, and I hope to see many more attacks of her this year. And as promised, a little gift to make up for my oopsie. Here you go, Jade. And finally, for my last spin, I drew Echo, a ghost belonging to the Ace of Shovels. Ace and I exchanged attacks in 2024, and their art has always captivated me, especially with their character design. They have a few stories they're working on right now, as far as I'm aware, but my favorite concept has to be the Astral Project, because it has a bunch of ghosts. Anyway, like I said, Echo is a ghost inspired by both vampire squids and sirens. When Ace posted this reference in a mutual space, I knew immediately that I wanted to draw Echo for this challenge. I love how his hair forms into a cephalopod fin, and how he's just so goopy. I knew I wanted to draw him all mischievous-like, so I decided to make him sing evilly toward the camera, beckoning for the viewer to come into the deep sea. Don't worry, he doesn't bite. I had a lot of fun with this one, but the part I definitely struggled the most with is the texture on the ink. It seems to kind of resemble an oil spill, which is so cool, but oh my goodness, Ace, I don't know how you made it look so easy on the reference. It took me a few tries, but I eventually made it work. The background asked for a gradient, which I thought was perfect for the water, but I did add some extra pizzazz to it, such as minimalistic bubbles and music notes. I had to spice it up a little. I was struggling so hard not to go all out. And again, to make up for my mishap, here is a little chibi Echo. A little treat just for you, Ace. And that's all for the art I did last year, but I have also updated my characters since year one. In 2024, I made my werewolf character Astrid, as well as various fansonas, including Callisto, who is an homage to the Actually Ray team, Spider-Bee, my Spider-Verse Sona, and Fairy Spells, my Pony OC. In 2025, I made my Animal Crossing character, also named Clover, and this year I made two new alien-like creatures. I created Zoria, an exchange student from Neptune, and Vivian, a Mantis person student who loves a good mystery. But Kit, you may be asking, in your last video you told us all your stats, why not now? Fine, here they are. I fought on Team Crystals and made 5 friendly fire attacks, 1 attack on fossils, and received 7 defenses. I had a battle ratio of 46.15% and gained 219.75 points. My total battle ratio is an even 50% with a total point count of 771.5, so that means that I contributed 0.00021% to our win. So after completing this challenge, what do I have to say for myself? Well, while I do wish that I could have done fully rendered pieces for everyone, I also know that this challenge helped me to not have to spend that much time on everything. In fact, my favorite drawing was the one I did of Mr. Muffin. This challenge may not have had me doing the most attacks last year or gotten the most points, but I sure did have fun. And isn't that what Art Fight is all about? Now I just have to figure out what to do this year. Thank you so much for watching this whole video. Instead of showing any fan art or my own art this time, I'm choosing to show the attacks I received during last year's art fight. Thank you so much to everyone who made something for me. Like I mentioned in the video, this project took a while to make because I was recording it right as I was moving. Then life and school got in the way and the video quickly became outdated, so I chose to save it for the next Art Fight's preseason. Thank you for your patience. And speaking of preseason, the teams just got announced last weekend. We have 3 teams for the first time ever, and they're based on theater genres. Hello? The teams this year are comedy, tragedy, and mystery. I'm definitely on team comedy, but let me know which teams you all chose. Also, I just want to give a really quick big thanks to both the Art Fight team and the Actually Ray team for letting me borrow some of the footage and assets seen in those segments. I am so grateful for the help. And as always, links to all of the artists I traded art with are in the description. Now, for the usual reminders, please feel free to check out my Discord server where you can chat with me, get notified of uploads, or see how far along the next video is. I also was streaming on Twitch occasionally, but due to my schedule, I can't continue doing that for the time being. As of right now, some of those VODs are still up on my Twitch channel, but if you would like to see all of my previous streams, I have a second channel. And of course, if you are able and willing, please consider checking out my Patreon. You get a lot of goodies for a great price over there. For only $5 Canadian a month, which is about $3.50 USD, you get to see works in progress, sneak peeks, access to exclusive Discord channels, and you get to see my videos a day early. And if you're feeling extra generous, $10 Canadian a month, or about $7 USD, gets you all of that plus a 10% discount on my commissions, a monthly sketch request, and your name at the end of my videos. There is also a free tier, and sometimes I post general updates and an occasional sneak peek there. Of course, there is no pressure to join, just watching and supporting my videos means so much to me. Well, that's all I got. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you playing in this year's Art Fight. Bye!